We are very proud to say this property right here was free. We were able to buy an income generating property on the outskirts of London for nothing. And we're not talking about a no money down deal or a BRRR where you pull all your money back out by refinancing. So when it comes down to it, this property here was £0 out of our own pockets to own. Here's how this works. So at the back end of 2019, I was looking for commercial sites, basically sites where we could repurpose the rear of the commercial unit to a flat and repurpose the uppers either to multiple flats or a HMO. Now I found this site in Denham. It was listed at 495, and I know you're gonna think, well, how did you get this for free? But bear with me, listen to the video towards the end and it'll all completely make sense. So I found this site, 495. I phoned up the agent and said, can I book a viewing? When I came down to have a look at the site, I walked into the retail unit. It was leased out for a few years and the uppers were in a dilapidated state, which were ready to be turned into 6 ensuite rooms by going into the loft. I like the fact that the ground floor was actually rented out because obviously during the renovations, it's providing a source of income for us. Then I said to the agent, can we go round the back and have a look? So as we went round the block, the rear had a service road. As we got to the back of the commercial unit, I noticed this attached garage, which was approximately 60 square meters in size. And I said, well, who owns this garage? He goes, the vendor does. It's on a separate title deed, but it's not included as a part of the sale. When I asked the agent what this site had actually been used for, he said, well, the previous tenant used to use this as an auxiliary use to the commercial unit, but recently it's fallen into dilapidated state. And looking at it, the roof was in poor condition. It was leaking water in, the garage doors were damaged. It actually required quite a lot of money just to bring it back into use as a garage unit. Now I had a brainwave. Well, when I give you the 495 that you're requesting for the commercial unit and the uppers, however, I want the vendor to actually throw in the garage unit for free, which was on a separate title deed. The way I justified it to the agent was, well, if you have a look at it, this site is actually costing the vendor money because the roof's in a dilapidated state. He's going to be forced to spend money on it and it's still not generating him anything. And during the renovation process for the HMO, I could use the garage for storage of any materials such as plasterboards, electrics, plumbing equipment, etc. At this point, I didn't really want to let too much on to the agent because I didn't want him to realize what a goldmine this garage can actually be. So during this process of conveyancing, I didn't put any planning applications in for the garage until we actually completed our purchase of the commercial and residential units, and I got transferred the garage for £0. And when I say £0, the vendor actually threw this in for free. You're probably wondering how we took this dilapidated garage and turned it into this lovely muse house, which you see in the photos. Now, what the vendor didn't realize was if this garage actually had been used for auxiliary use to the commercial unit, it actually benefits from PD/prior approval rights to actually change this from commercial use to residential. So literally all we had to do was get an architect on board, work out how we were going to design the space, put in a prior approval application to change this garage to a 2-bedroom muse house. And when that actually went through, we then had a look at rejigging the plans and put it in as a 3-bed muse house. Both of those applications got approved. Once they were approved, we began work. Now, as this structure was already up, it already had a roof, the roof was in a poor condition. First thing we actually did was make the property airtight. So we've got on the roof, relayed this with new timbers, insulation, we fiberglassed it, and then we started to work on the exterior walls. With the exterior walls, it was actually quite straightforward. All we needed to actually do was put on external insulation and then finish it with a nice silicone K render. Once the render was complete, we put in some dark windows to give it a more contemporary look externally. Internally, the finish was with solid tile flooring throughout. We ended up putting in some geometric wood panel design walls just to give it a unique look in each of the rooms. So you're probably wondering, how much was the build? Well, we got the property for free. We spent only £40,000 renovating this property over the course of 3 months. We then contacted our friends at CPC Finance, got a valuation done on this, and that valuation came back at £400,000. So we literally 10x'd this property. We then were able to pull out up to 75% of the value of this site. The property actually rents out as a 3-bedroom mews house to a family at £1,800 per calendar month, which is obviously over £20,000 per year. So we knew this was an amazing deal, but we didn't know how amazing this was and what other people would actually think of this. So we actually put this in for Property Investor Deal of the Year 2021. When it went through, and I remember hearing from other judges online, on social media, YouTube, that this deal was actually mind-blowing, that even most of them didn't see the option to actually convert this into a 3-bedroom mews house. And I remember Jay Howard, who's one of the respected judges at the Property Investor Awards, said there's only been one deal which I've ever voted 10 on every aspect of it, from the look of it, from the planning aspect, from the financial aspect, from the rental numbers. And he goes, Malkit, this was actually your deal. So to summarize, we got this site for free. We spent £96 on a planning application to actually get this passed within 56 days. We spent £40,000 on the build. We 10x the value to £400,000. We're able to refinance this at 75%, and we generate £21,600 per annum just from this one site. So, like I always say, understand the rules of the game, and the game is all yours to be played. I understood the rules for it. It came down to prior approval, permitted development. I was able to action this really quickly. I was able to see a deal that no one else was able to do, and I profited very well from this. So if you want to learn on how you can actually do this and find these deals, and these deals are all on the open market, we're doing a free webinar where we'll be discussing all things prior approval, commercial or residential. So you can find out more details in the description below. And for the rest of you, please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and we'll see you in the next video.